Hello everyone. So I'm starting a new series on my channel which is health care updates from around the world. In this series I would take one or two articles per day from the most famous newspapers like Business Standards, Economic Times or the Hindu and decode major terms from these articles and then reread the articles to explain you in detail what the what the article in coherence means and how it is related to the healthcare and the business world. For my qualification, I am an MBBS doctor by undergraduation and currently pursuing hospital and healthcare administration. In future, I would work in the healthcare or hospital business world, so I feel that I'm better equipped to explain these jargons, which is a culmination of both healthcare and business. Now, starting with this article that I read today in Business Standard of 15 January 2025. So, January is observed as Cervical Cancer Awareness Month. Cancer is also in news because hospitalization claims for this disease rose by 12%. According to Indian Health Space report by MediAssist Healthcare Services, the country's largest health insurance TPA third party administrator, which process over a fifth of all hospitalization claims. Now, in this, we have seen several words like cervical cancer. So, what is cervix? So, cervix is basically the part that joins the uterus and the vagina. So, this is the female reproductive organ, and in this, the uterus is joined by vagina by this part known as cervix, and if the cancer is grown here, it is known as cervical cancer. And what is cancer? So, for those who don't know this, cancer basically means uncontrolled growth of cell. So, here, this is the normal architecture of a tissue or organ, and if there is an uncontrolled growth of cell, so this would be known as cancer and can cause potential harm to the body. It's also there is another term for it like neoplasm, or you can say it as somewhere it might be written as carcinoma also. So these are some terms with slight difference, but relatively used as an alternative for cancer. So that was there, cervical cancer. Now we read about MediAssist and TPA. What is TPA? So TPA basically means that it is a mediator, third party administrator. It is a mediator between the insurance provider and the insured individual. So, what is an insurance? Insurance basically means protection from financial loss. So, today I'm right now making the content in English, but the next one I'll speak in both English and Hindi, and so that I'll just want to gauge which mode is suitable or appropriate for my audience. So this is in complete English. I'll try to make it complete English. So insurance basically means protection from financial loss and spreading of the loss by particular risk over number of people against some amount called premium. So there are a lot of people, okay, and they might have risk of falling sick. Now there is a huge pool where they're contributing 10 rupees per month or per year, so that one someone gets sick, from this pool they can give the money to them. So it's like spreading of risk. Not everyone would get sick, so they are paying that in case they get sick, from this pool they can get out the amount that they need in order to be safe from any catastrophic expenses. Now, so what does TPA do here? So they act as a mediator between the people who are paying the premiums to the insurance company and insurance company who are paying the claims of that individual. Because in the process there is a lot of things that needs to be done, like pre-authorization. is the person actually eligible for that insurance, what how the claim should be processed, and what are the medical expenses, what is right, what is wrong. So all these things, the administrative task is done by MediAssist, a TPA. And it could be internal as well external. Internal means the insurance company has its own TPA, or sometimes they can outsource it. So that is TPA. Now, in India, out of every 9 people is likely to develop cancer. So these are just facts about cancer. Now, how are insurance covered for cancer patients? So these are covered by three major part, which is cancer can be covered through several type of policies. Indemnity based covers pay for hospitalization expenses. Now, first, so there is indemnity based cover, then there is a critical illness plan, and then there is cancer specific policies. I'll explain this in brief, and then I'll again read the article to make it more understandable. So I have here segregated these three things. So indemnity based policies. Indemnity basically means that indemnity actually means the financial compensation to restore the policyholder to the same financial position before loss. Suppose right now I have a lump sum amount of 1 lakh in my account, but now I got sick and I have to be admitted. I incur an amount of 20,000. Now, in based policies, the insurance will pay me 20,000 because I incurred that loss. So basically, they'll reimburse the actual medical expense, but subject to the policy limits. Now, what are these limits? What is this limit they're talking about? So there's some terms that are there in insurance, which I'll explain just a few minutes later. Then there is critical illness plan. In this, a lump sum amount is paid when you're diagnosed with some critical illness. For example, if the lump sum is like 20 lakh would be paid if you get diagnosed with cancer. Now, even if your bill is 50 lakh, they will pay you only 20 lakh amount. So that's the fixed amount, lump sum amount that is in. But here, the actual medical expense subject to the policy limits. Like if they have like 50 lakh, and if you incur a 40 lakh, they will pay you 50 or 40 lakh, whatever the amount is, that subject that you are within the limits of their policy. Now, cancer specific policies are more focused on cancers, especially taken by people who have a family history for cancer, and they can be both indemnity type also, or critical illness, which is fixed amount type also. The only difference between these two and this is specific for cancer, and this is a general health insurance and can cover other illnesses as well. So that is there. So now let me read that. Cancer can be covered through several type of policies. Indemnity based, which covers the hospitalization expenses. Jitna bhi expense hota that will be covered. Now insurers have also designed hospitalization covers for people who have been diagnosed with cancer. Critical illness plans are second option. These are fixed benefit plans, as I've already mentioned. Fixed benefit plans that covers several critical illness, including including cancer, and cancer specific, which covers only cover cancer, are available both as indemnity based and fixed benefit also. Now, fixed benefit plans offer a lump sum payout upon diagnosis, and sometimes also include income benefit. Now, what is income benefit? Is that if suppose the breadwinner gets cancer, so they would have some fixed amount that they would dispatch on monthly or quarterly basis in order to cover the household expense of that family. So they can cover such policies also. They can disperse funds via that route also. Cancer specific plans are basically, they are also very state specific, because they're very so in early cancer the payout might be low, like 10 lakh, but if you have advanced, then it can be 20-30 lakhs. So that's stage specific also sometimes. Now the article says that start early for better coverage. So what happens that insurance is pooling of risk, but here it is written that it might be very difficult to get a comprehensive health cover for someone who has already had cancer. Yes, because now that person is not at risk, it is 100% sure that they have cancer. So insurance company are also very apprehensive of giving them, because now they have to surely pay them. It's not risk. So now, as it is written that single highlights that healthy individual have a wide range of policy option, while those diagnosed with cancer must choose from a very limited range of policies. Therefore, it's better to start early, and then if you there are, and the cancer based policies, cancer treatments are very costly, 30 to 40 lakhs for immunotherapy and all those things. So he's suggesting that you can even combine basic hospitalization cover with critical illness for cancer, for being cost effective. So also there are some key consideration that he talks about, that when buying a hospitalization cover, individuals with history of cancer must review the coverage carefully, which means that based on medical history and current stage of cancer, the insurers underwriters may take a call on what is to be covered. What is underwriters? Just I'll explain this. Hospitalization. So underwriters basically are like gatekeepers of insurance company. So gatekeepers, and they evaluate the risk of insuring someone. So if you have cancer, or if you're prone to cancer, or if you have some behavior like smoking or alcohol that you know makes you more makes cancer predilection more to you, then they would evaluate that risk, and then they would set the premium or coverage limit according to your behavior, according to your personal history, family history, past history. So that is the work of underwriters. They are the gatekeepers of insurers. And what are claims? Claims is request you make to the insurance company to pay the covered medical expense. Suppose you get into the hospital for an accident and you incur a loss of 15,000. Now you tell the insurance company, you see, this is what happened, now you pay me. Either it's via two route, cashless or reimbursement claim. In cashless claims, the uh, mm, you don't have to pay anything upfront, the patient does not have to pay, it would be just between the hospital and the insurance company. But in reimbursement, you have to pay the amount, and then the insurance will reimburse it to you. So to understand the flow is what happens, that whenever we go to buy an insurance, there is an underwriter which is at the gate. Okay, should I let you in? And if, then what should be your entry fee or monthly or annual fee, like the premium? And also, how much are we going to offer? What are the amenities that you're going to get? So like a gatekeeper, he is there. This underwriter evaluates. Now he decides the premium and coverage. Now you're okay, you are in. Now you might not get hospitalized, but if you are hospitalized or if you incur any medical expense, you file a claim for it. See, these are the things that I've incurred. Now the claim will be evaluated, and then payment would be as per the coverage. Now why coverage? What is coverage? So coverage is like, okay, how much sum insured, like, okay, I can pay you only 20 lakhs, so that's the limit. But there are also some sub limits. Now what are sub limits? So caps on how much insurance company will pay for specific expense. So these are sub limits. Like even if your total sum insured is higher, um, for example, the sum insured is 10 lakh, but the room rent is capped at 5,000. So even if your bill is just 5 lakh, but you took a room rent of 8,000, so the insurance company would only, and you stayed there for like 3 days, so 3 into 8, ideally it should be 24, but insurance would only pay 15,000, because they have limited that. Okay, no, room rent will not be more than 5,000. So even if the total bill is just 5 lakh and they've ensured that they'll pay you 10 lakh, they'll pay you 10 lakh, but only 5 lakh bill is there, but room rent you've taken 8,000 and they've said only 5,000 could be there. So this 3,000 they will not pay, and you have to pay yourself. These are the sub limits that are there, so you have to see that. And if there are procedure limits, like for cataract they'll only pay 30,000, so all these things we have to see. Then there is waiting period, initial time after you buy an insurance policy during which you cannot make the claims. Suppose I buy it today, tomorrow I can't go and say, okay, I've incurred a loss of 50,000, no, pay me that. No, there's some waiting period. 2 3 years or 1 year 2 year. So like this various waiting period. So this is the here we're talking they were talking that when buying hospitalization cover, the underwriter will take a call ki what is to be covered. We'll cover chemo, we'll cover immuno, whatever. They'll take a call on that. Hospitalization policies for those already diagnosed also include waiting period. As I said, that we'll only pay after 1 month, 6 months, or whatever. So, and they cannot exceed beyond 3 years. Fixed benefit plans, as I've said, the critical illness plans, we have a survival period clause, usually of 15 days. This is a little bit of a funny thing, I could say. Like, you have to be, so if the survival period is 15 days, so if you die before this, like if you die on 13th day, they'll not pay you, because you have to be you, alive till 15 days, then only they'll pay you. So therefore they are recommending, if there is a vicious disease or very malignant cancer, then take a policy that has low survivor period clause. And also they stress that, Dubey is stressing that, check the indemnity based policies for co-payments. Co-payments are basically like, if the insurance is paying 1 lakh, I have to pay 10,000 plus upfront from my side. So that is co-payment. And sublimits the caps that I've said on specific procedures like room rent, specific disease and treatment. So all these things are general hygiene check that we should do before buying any insurance. And this is the hospitalization plans for cancer survivor. You can see different insurers, what are the plan that they use, how much sum insured they have, and you can actually see the premiums are very high for cancer plans. So yeah, these are the plans, and this is the basic thing, that check policy for everything: exclusion, co-payment and sublimit. And yes, stay tuned for tomorrow's update as well. Thank you. I hope you like the series.